G'day, it's Rob here again. Well, today I'm working on the old ute. I've got to replace a return oil line from the vacuum pump, because this is a diesel, and yeah, the line that goes back from the back of the alternator to the sump has split, and I can't buy a replacement line. This thing's so old that you can't get everything for it. You're lucky to get anything actually, and I've got to change over alternator on here, or a different alternator. So the return line is at the wrong angle where it comes out to go back, so I've got to modify my previously fabricated outlet union, and it was something I brazed up, so I'll show you what I'm going to do. And you can also see, you know, how stuff in the workshop is handy. You can never have too many tools. Okay, let's get on with it. Right, this is the original fitting that screws into the vacuum pump, and this was bronzed into here, and I've since separated them. I mean, once again, this is where if you bronze stuff, you can always disassemble it and clean it up and redo it. So what I have to do is, as I don't want it coming out this way, it has to go 90 degrees. This union, which is actually threaded on the inside, I'll machine up a plug to screw in, and a round plug, and this will then tap and thread into the side of that, so it will effectively make a screw-in fitting and with an elbow, and we'll basically just braze this back into the new bit. So the new bit will screw in, and yep, we'll just braze it. So once again, if you bronze stuff, you can always pull it apart. If you arc it, you're screwed. Plus it looks like shit, you know. So yeah, you can do a nice neat job, so hopefully we will do a nice neat job. Now, the internal thread in this is interesting. I had a look, and it's not Whitworth, it's not SAE, and it's not metric. So I'm hoping it's BSB, which I do have a set of. Remember when I bought that set of BSB taps and dies for like 20 bucks? I'll show you. And here they are. I mean, what a set, eh? That was a bargain. A bargain. The Whitworth, it wasn't Whitworth. It's Whitworth profile, but it's actually BSB, British Standard Brass, which is used for a lot of steam and air fittings. And as this is a steam or an air fitting, and that thread looks pretty bloody close. I'm gonna give it a go and see. It's close enough that I could probably just clean up that thread to make it do the job, and then I'll just use the die to do a thread on the plug that's going to go in. So first thing is to try and tap through this. I'll clean all this up after. It looks a bit ugly, but it's all fixable and it'll do the job. I was going to buy a banjo fitting, but easier said than done. And yeah, very hard to track them down, and also the price is a bit exorbitant. You know, we're sort of over $70, and I thought, screw that, I'm not going to spend all that. I can just knock up something, and this is where if you've got the bits, you can do it. So yep, cheap tools, get them. You can never have too many tools. All right, let's get on with this. Is this my lucky day, or is this my lucky day? Ha ha, look at that. How arsey can you be, eh? BSB. I'll just clean it up a bit. job will be a lot easier than I thought it would be. I was I was thinking I'd have to bronze in the plug, but if I can screw it in, well, that'll be better. I can position it more easily. Use a bit of Loctite, get into position, with some Loctite, and everything's going to be a lot easier. These strange threads like BSB, you think, oh, how often will I use that? But you just never know. You never know with this stuff. If you go and buy these dies, that costs you a pretty penny to get that whole set for like $20 or $30. I forget the exact price. It wasn't much, I know. It was bloody cheap. It's a beautiful, beautiful set. It's made by Bailey and Russell out of the USA. I think we're through. Yeah, we're good enough. Oh, that's perfect. Perfecto. Oh, when the oil line spilled in the ute, I had black diesel oil going everywhere. What a mess. I've still got to clean up where it's standing. It was all dribbling down. It wasn't the highlight of the day to see that happening. It actually looked okay when I fitted it, but that's the trouble with this old stuff. You never can tell, and yeah, she can just blow out on you. Okay. Now I'll freshen that up in the lathe, and she'll look as good as new. This is one of those easy to make tap holders too. I bought that at a garage sale for peanuts, and it was obviously somebody's apprenticeship project, and yeah, I did show that in one of the early videos. Works good. Right, well now we move on to the next handy gadget, and of course that's the magic collets. Now to grip this, we're going to have to hold it on the thread. We don't want to damage the thread, so we will use the magic collets. Now we use the old Shorblin. Give her a bit of a run for the day. Oh, we're good to go. Okie dokie, we'll just freshen up the face and that'll be good. Once again, this is where it's handy to have two lathes. You can have one set up for collets, you just pop straight in. Otherwise you've got to take off chucks and swing around. And if you've got a big lathe, you're going to curse the day. You've got a big lathe. Right, now I'm just going to put the boring bar in it. It's high-speed steel boring bar. Just clean up the inside a bit where the plug's going to go in. I'll step it slightly. That's probably good enough. change of plan once again. I've cleaned up the end, machined a half-inch SAE thread on there, which is not a bad thread, nice and fine. So now we'll machine up the plug that's going to go in the end of this, that this will go in at 90 degrees. Drill and tap that, and I'll probably bronze this as well just to make sure it doesn't leak any oil. This is the one that's got to be adjustable for angle. This one, once it's in, well, it's in for keeps. So as the thread on here is not brilliant, it didn't cut very well. I'll probably put a bit of bronze on that as well. So she'll be right. We'll get there. Okay, so now I'll do some measuring and I'll drill it with that threaded on. That way we can't get any thread deformation, you know, any expansion. So I'll get a good finish. Getting there. Well, we're there, almost. Almost, but not quite. So that screws into there, that screws into there, that screws into the back of the vacuum pump, but there's a problem. This is too long, by about 1/4 of an inch, and it hits on the actual alternator body itself. So you remember this screws into the vacuum pump. So I've got to shorten this, but I don't want to take the flared end off of it. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to machine up further, take more of this nut section away, extend the thread, and if I do that, I think I'll then braze it in, because there won't be as much thread as where I want it to be. But there's an issue. How do you hold this to turn down the nut? Remember, we're machining in from this way. Can't put it in an ordinary chuck or my big lathes, because this will be in the way. Can't use a collet, because this will be in the way. This is a job for the super mini lathe. Yep, this is a job for the shear line, and the shear line will do this easy peasy, because its little jaws will only fit in that area there. So here she is, raring to go. This is the bit, and it will go in there. You see, hooking on the back of the jaw there, so it'll fit in there perfectly. How good is that, eh? These things are magic when you need them. I mean, you know, for small stuff, yep, you need small lathes, I think. It's a brilliant little machine. I don't use it that often, but when I do need it, it does the job that the big boys can't do easily. I mean, you could make up split blocks and do all sorts of frigging around, but this will just go straight in, and she'll machine that back like it's a walk in the park. Let's do it. that thread. I've got enough metal there to make it worthwhile, so I might as well. Yep. And then I'll just shorten this end here after. We'll do that next. These jobs, little jobs, how are becoming big jobs. But you get to play with your toys, which is all good stuff. Well, it's still not going to fit. It's still too long. After all that, it's still, I'd say, close to 1/4 of an inch too long. Now this is the clamp that goes on, so I can't shorten it any more. The only thing I can do is make this body longer and bring it out away from the pump more, which I can do, which I can easily make up another one. First, what I'll do is, as there's quite a bit of wall thickness in this centre section, I will reduce the diameter of it. So there's quite a bit of wall thickness there. By doing that, that will bring the connector hose in. So that's the last gasp for this little job. If it doesn't work out, I'll have to make up a new one of these and just make it longer by, I can make it an inch longer if I wanted to. It'd be alright, be enough clearance. So, yeah, not everything works out every day, but there is one good thing about these sort of jobs, that if things do screw up, you can always go for the old Coopers, liquid lunch. That's what I'm having today, and it's bloody beautiful. It's pretty hot in the shed at the moment. It's over 30, so I'm going to knock off now and put the feet up the rest of the day and fight tomorrow. Hopefully I'll get this thing sorted out, and yeah, as I said, if reducing the diameter isn't enough, it's got to be touch and go. Well, I'll just make up another one of these, make them longer. This way, if you've got the tools, you've got a lathe, you can do all this stuff. If it stuffs up, who cares? I mean, too bad. At least you tried, you tried and you failed. But you know where you went wrong, you know what to do next time, and yeah, next time it'll be the perfect job. So that's it from me. Hope you got a bit of interest out of it. See you next time. Cheers.